Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Tim, and I'm one of the five that moved from the East Coast, South Carolina, to the Smoky Mountains of East Tennessee. And today we're going to be cooking on our wood cook stove, and we just wanted to show you a few things about it. We got up a little early to get it started so we could get it heated up, so we wouldn't be sitting around waiting on it to heat up. And so anyway, we got some a little bit of breakfast cooking, and I wanted to show you a few things about it.
We ready. I'm hungry.
So I don't claim to be an expert about this. This is just something that we purchased that we thought that would work for us and our lit lifestyle. And it's a small stove, but it works really good. It's got a small firebox, and I'm gonna open that up so you can see the fire. You got a little fire going in there.
How big would you say that firebox is, Timmy? Like a
That
bread basket?
yeah, that's a small one. It's probably about 6 by 6,
Now,
probably about 18 inches long.
this is a Todd, right?
Yeah, it's
It's
a
over
top.
100 years old.
I've never really heard of the name, but
It's on there.
it's a well known. Yeah, the name's on here, but I've never heard of it. I've heard of Pioneer Princess and all these fancy stoves, but like I said, this
This is
yeah.
antique.
Here's our oven right here. We can bake a turkey.
A small one.
Yeah, probably about a 15, 16 pounder will fit in there. Yeah, which is enough for the three of us or a couple of extra people that drop by.
So talk about all the parts of this particular wood cook stove.
And we have our cooktop, which is a what they call a 6 burner. And this is the hottest part of the stove right here because it's over the firebox. And then as you move over, the heat lessens. So when you get over here, that's like your low temperature, your medium, and this is your high right here because it's over the firebox.
And what is this over here on the far right under our
Uh,
red chicken?
we have a water tank over here. You put water in it, it heats up when you're running the stove, and that way you can have hot water when you're cooking or wash, dishes or anything like that.
And then up top,
Up top is your, well, I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with, they call it the bread warmer or the warmer. And, as the stove heats up, the heat generates, this area right here and it keeps your food warm and
while you're cooking.
while you're cooking, yeah. So
Okay,
everybody can have a nice warm meal.
what are the other components of the stove?
Well, we do have our ash box right here. So what happens as you burn your wood, the ash drops down into this area. It goes in a little tray. So this is your clean out. You just open that little door, pull the tray out, dump it, and you do a little bit of scraping in there if you get some stuff that gets moved around. But anyway,
We
that's
have
your
an
clean out.
article about things to do with wood ash on my Homestead Life.
Yes, we do.
And so you repurpose that wood ash when you take it out.
Yeah, there's a lot that you can do with that wood ash.
And what happens to the stove if that ash box gets full and you don't clean it out in time?
Well, the when you get too much ash in the bottom, it does affect the performance of the oven because everything inside the heat and the smoke and everything it moves around the oven box and everything, and it will um,
It doesn't allow good enough airflow,
it
right?
does not give good enough airflow, and sometimes when you get a heavy fire, it'll draft that ash up into your pipes and everything. So you don't want that. So there's routine maintenance that has to be done periodically.
Good morning, everybody that joined. Hey, AJ, how you doing? Hey, Steve. That is cool. So, good morning, Steve. Timmy, what is the other component on the side that we always fight about?
The vent on the side that we fight about is
We have differing views of opinion over
we
here.
don't fight, we bicker now. Okay, so those days are gone. Here's your vent for the side. You open and close this to draft the heat across your firebox. I mean your oven box right here. So what that does is pull air in and it circulates it to the right side of the stove.
And then what is our process in the morning on a cold morning to get this ready to start cooking our coffee and everything?
So on a cold morning,
And go ahead and use the cloth.
we have to take this back eye off right here in the middle. And what that does, that gives us access to the stovepipe inside. And when we take that off, there's a little channel in there that we run the torch up in, and we heat the pipe. When we heat that pipe, it keeps it from back smoking inside the house.
It helps the heat draft when we start the fire.
Because it will fill the house up with smoke if you don't heat that one. When we get down to 30 degrees, you got to heat the pipe.
Well, we've been in the 40s and stuff, and I had to heat it the other day. I smoked the house out and didn't realize it was so cold.
Yeah, but as it gets colder, that smoke will not go up that pipe.
So after you heat the pipe up, then what do we do?
So after we heat the pipe up, we get a little piece of fat lighter right here.
And where do you find that at?
I magically go out in the woods and I find this stuff.
And what is fat lighter for people that don't know?
It's pine that has died off, and all the pine tar has dropped down into the bottom of the tree.
Can I smell it?
And it really...
It smells like pine, y'all.
It smells so good. And you know it when you see it.
It's got a beautiful amber color.
I get all excited because,
And how does that help you start the fire?
It's flammable. It's highly flammable. So we use a piece of that. We've got our dry starter wood down here, and we take it and we get that pipe.
Open the box?
We get the pipe hot, put that fat lighter in there with a little bit of dry wood.
And now explain once you get that started and the coals are going, how we scoop the coals up to the front to maintain that heat.
So this little tool right here, you use this it's a multi-tool for an oven like this. You use it to scrape the ash out the bottom pan. You take this and you run it up in there when your wood starts burning down, and you have to pull your coals to the front, because if you don't, all the coals will build up a bank in the back of the stove, and all your wood will be sitting like this. So you kind of have to pull this and level your ash and everything out, your coals, before you put new wood there. And that might not be for everybody. It's just the way we do it, and it works for us.
But this double dips, or triple dips, I should say. You cook on it, it heats your house, and you can heat water.
And you can do s'mores in here too.
We've tried it all.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you can't cook on this wood stove that you used to cook in the conventional stove? Is there anything that this stove restricts you from doing?
I can't think of anything.
We've done it all.
We've done it all.
And some things better.
And it will, if you get it cooking, you get it good and hot. You can brown stuff in there. It's kind of like the stove box, the oven box sits up so air circulates all the way around it. So you get an even cooking, all the way.
Now, though, we do have to turn things. You want to open the oven box and talk about that real quick?
This right here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the hot side over here on the left.
Because it's closest.
Because that's closest to the firebox.
Right.
So if we're baking a cake or biscuits or something like that, we pull them out, turn them, and put them back in. And it kind of gives you a more even, cooking.
Is there anything else you want to add to this before I take over and start cooking breakfast?
I love it. And it's not running the meter either.
Okay, so you're going to come over here. Go ahead and clean my glasses off so you can see. Go ahead and clean my glasses off so you can see. You want to do that before you start filming. Y'all just looking at our stove right now, cooking. Good morning, honey. All right, so you can sit down here if you want to hold it steady, because it's easy to get all jiggly with it, and you don't want to get jiggly with it.
I don't want to get jiggly with it.
Don't want to get jiggly with it.
Yeah. Look
Okay,
at that.
you see me?
Here's Amber, y'all.
All right, y'all. So we had to start the oven early, and we had to start prepping breakfast early, because 30 minutes just ain't enough time to get everything going. And if you missed it, just rewind the video after it uploads, and you can watch the beginning. We actually filmed some small footage about a year or so ago about starting the fire in here, cleaning out the stovepipe. I'll try to get those linked in this bottom of this video. Not today. We got y'all went last Saturday when I talked about doing this live and like, oh, we're gonna cook breakfast with you. I forgot that we had a craft show today. So I've been up late night, crack of dawn, getting ready for a craft show. So that's why we had to do the live early at 8 instead of 9. And I'm sorry about that. But we did get everything started. So as Timmy just mentioned, first of all, I gotta say, I love, love, love cooking on my wood cook stove. You could not give me the electricity and electric stove to replace this, and I'd want to use it. I enjoy it that much. It's not just because we live off grid. And of course, this is like a cast iron wood cook stove. So you would clean it just like cast iron. Somebody sent us a message yesterday to me saying they had an old cook wood stove. It's full of rust and everything, and they wanted to know how to care for it and how to clean it, and y'all do it just like cast iron. And you want to treat it like cast iron. It'll rust like cast iron if it gets wet. And Timmy, you took a grinder to it, didn't you?
I took a grinder with a brush.
Yeah, a wire bristle brush.
Yeah.
And clean it. And we still got to do that. So when you get grease and it pops and everything, you've got to clean it off. So don't be judging my stove. It's my stove. But the top's seasoned, just like my cast iron pans are seasoned.
Yeah, one thing I want to let y'all know, if you cook enough bacon on a wood cook stove, it ain't gonna rust.
You can see I got bacon.
That's
right
your
now.
treatment right there.
Now with ours, it is an antique. It's not no fancy Princess Queen. I couldn't afford $3,000 for a stove, y'all. That's what I paid for my car. I ain't gonna pay that for a stove. Not that it's bad. It's not in our budget. It's missing a door. They don't make these. They quit making these like 100 years ago. I think this is from 1908, if I'm not mistaken, when I did the research. And so I can't find this box, and I'm okay with that. Timmy mentioned this is the warmer, so I've got my plate here ready to receive my bacon. To keep it warm while I'm cooking, I'll just put it over here. I'll put something here, and it stays warm the whole time. I can cook more food on the top of this than I ever could my regular oven back home. And as Timmy mentioned, this is the firebox. So everything over here you think is going to be your high heat. The more you move away from the heat is the lower in temperature it goes. So if you look over here to the right of the stove, I just pop my coffee in here to keep it warm. I always have a kettle of water to keep it warm so I could wash dishes. And once something's cooked, I want to keep it hot. I just keep scooching it over while I'm using this heat right here. So right now I'm going to take my coffee and I'm going to keep it warm. Your handles, you don't want to cook with plastic on a wood cook stove, y'all. Your handles are always going to be warm, so I always got a little pot right here. But I've got bacon cooked. Timmy, I don't know if you can see the tops of that. It's sitting down, but I don't want you to get all fuzzy. And it boils water. The only thing with cooking on a wood cook stove that I would consider two things that I would consider a negative. One, I can't cook on it all summer long because it heats up our house and I miss it terribly. But that helps us change our way that we eat and the meals that we prep to go with the season. So you got the warm comfort food and everything during the cooler months. And during the summer, we're eating more salads, things that we cook on the grill, that kind of thing. The other thing is how long it takes to heat up because, it takes a while to build a fire and heat up the oven to bring it to temp. So you do have to plan. Now on this back burner right here, I've got water boiling. And we're cooking grits this morning, y'all. And these aren't no slow cooking grits like I like. I hate to say it, they're kind of quick grits, but they're grits. And I already got my water boiling back here. Add a little bit of salt and pepper. And the thing with cooking, which I don't think so many people are set it and forget it. They just want to put something, push it in a button, an Instant Pot, an instant this, a microwave that. And that's good and all, but that's not this lifestyle. That's not what we do. We try to enjoy and embrace the moment just a little bit more. Tim, can you see what I'm cooking, or you just see that I'm standing over here?
I see you standing over there. I see some bacon.
Well, yeah, you can see some bacon.
Yeah.
And I love this bacon, y'all.
Look at that.
This is a good pepper bacon. And if you can, well, you don't got to get that close.
That's straight off the hog right there.
If you make sure it's not all jiggly. We don't want to get jiggly. Oh yeah, the grits pop. So now they're cooking hard. I just mixed them. I don't want them to cook hard. I want them to cook medium. So I'm going to move that over. If I had more time for the craft show, you'd see some biscuits in the oven. I don't. And again, this is your high heat. It's going to cook hard. I can tell when I need to, if I'm cooking on the top, I can tell when I need to add fire because, or wood to the fire because my cooking temps slow down. The water quits boiling as hard. I quit the saute, the bubbling stops a little bit when I'm needing to cook something a little harder. And I'm like, oh, I forgot to add wood.
Once you use a wood stove for a while,
You get it.
you learn what the tips are and what it takes to cook certain things.
No, I will say this, that we pretty much, the oven pretty much cooks around, when it's fully going, it pretty much cooks around, what, 350, 375?
Yeah, we can get it hot too.
Some of them have a working thermometer on theirs. So see how right here it started to die down just a little bit? I'm going to bring some of those coals forward so I can finish off these eggs. I'm not going to add any wood to this right now because our eggs ain't going to take a while to cook and then we've got to go. So I don't want to keep this fire hot while we're going. But, and if you cook on cast iron, this isn't a lot different. And I love, 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 love our cast iron pans. And the maintenance of this is just like you do cast iron. You want to keep the oil, you want to keep water off of it, you want to keep it seasoned. And again, it doubles as, you know, it heats our water, it heats our home, it cooks our food, and that's, I mean, and it's free to use. Oh, the one other thing too, Gavin and Ashland's wood cook stove is different. They can almost put a full size fireplace log in theirs. Ours is just, this is ours. Scraps. Y'all, this was part of our pool that we built. And don't worry, we got another pool out there. But the first pool that Timmy built, we had to take it apart because the dirt washed out from the side of it. And so he cut up all the pool parts and we're reusing them to cook with. Waste not, want not.
That's right. It's all about repurposing.
That's right. So we have, we use everything around here. So all that you can cook, all your scrap wood, and, you know, fell branches and stuff. You don't got to be out there chopping a bunch of big wood for your wood stove. And before you go buying a wood cook stove, if y'all have building restrictions or insurance restrictions, you're going to want to check all that first. That's my public disclaimer. I don't want you to look at my backside over there while I'm trying to do this. So just
Make sure you get that grit right there.
what did I lose you? Now we eat hot barbecue sauce, like a vinegar-based barbecue sauce on our grits. These, you can do a breakfast grit or you can do a dinner grit. These are the breakfast grits. My dinner grits have heavy cream in them, cheddar cheese. I cook them with chicken broth. They're amazing.
Your dinner grit?
The dinner grits. With shrimp and grits. If y'all don't like grits, I'm sorry. I am sorry. You ready to eat, honey? You hungry?
And another thing I want to add is the smell of a wood cook stove in operation. It's something about the food.
It's different.
It's
different. I mean, we're not better than everybody else, but we got it both ways. And I'm telling you, I would not go back.
Yes, it's really enjoyable.
Out here, Lyndon's not up yet, and one of these eggs is hers. Timmy likes his a little bit more cooked than I like mine. I'm just gonna put it up there for a second. We got our breakfast. We'll cook just like anybody else. Ooh. Don't be jealous, y'all. You can come on over for breakfast. But we're gonna end this video and we're gonna eat. And then we got a craft fair. And if you're in the area in Pigeon Forge and Wares Valley today at Lanier's General Store, give it a shout out because we got all of our soaps and everything loaded up. We're gonna do that and enjoy our day. So y'all, thanks for joining us. Timmy, you want to add anything to it?
Yeah, y'all go get your wood cook stove.
Good stuff. We're actually going to put another one outside when we have our outdoor kitchen because we love it that much. But we're going to go ahead and eat breakfast. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. If we can answer, we'd be happy to. And y'all have a blessed day.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
You don't know how to do the stop button, do you? Wait.